55352.7. The expedition is en route for Starbase 200 to transport some researchers from Starbase 21 to 200. Starfleet has relaxed their policy on having family on board, which is a welcome sight for a few of the crew members. While the Sovereign class itself is built in response to the Borg threat, it would be nice to have the ship feel livelier with the introduction of some of the crew's immediate family. Though the past month has been rather dull compared to what we've been dealing with as of late, but has been rather nice for things to have settled down a bit. Some of the crew have been reinvigorated lately with the prospect of our deep space exploration on the horizon after we depart from 200. All I can say for myself is that the sentiment is the same. End Captain's log.
All right. So just like the captain's log said, the ship is a couple days out from Starbase 21. You're heading to Starbase 200, and I'm going to have you guys start off with a few of the senior staff. If I could get everything going here. I'm sitting in the lounge. Basically, you guys are sitting in the lounge after a very uneventful duty shift. You guys are talking, listening to the excitement of the new cadre of scientific crew, both civilian and Starfleet around you, as well as several of the crew members talking about their families being able to join them finally. And I think that's where we will start for a little role play.
I think Casey will sit down with some sort of like simple lunch, tomato soup and grilled cheese.
Minjoff will have a bowl of stew and a drink as well. It's nice to see some life aboard, other than just the standard crew. Reminds me of the colony.
I don't think morale has been this high in a very long time. Definitely exciting period for the ship and Starfleet.
Do any of you have anyone coming over?
I'm afraid not. But it's still nice to see some new faces.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I agree.
Yeah, my family is at the colony, probably still, or working with Starfleet. Um, don't believe any of them are aboard. Haven't seen any, but it is certainly exciting to see their parents and the children. Reminds me of home.
And the senior staff sitting around the table notices the commander sitting off to himself, staring out into space.
What was that last part, Ed?
You're off, kind of sitting by yourself, staring off into space.
That would be accurate. DeGrasse kind of comes to and looks around and notices is it Nurse Renate? Just kind of casually says, "Good evening, Nurse. Do you have any family on board the ship?"
Unfortunately, no, Commander. I've tend to have been a career person, so haven't had the time to start up a family as of yet.
No. You and me both. It's times like this that can remind you of the trade-offs that we make as Starfleet officers. When you devote yourself to your job, it's hard to have time for anything else. And he kind of looks around for a waiter or wait staff.
And you notice one walking up. Anything I could get for you, sir?
Whiskey neat, please.
Might interest you in today's chef special, sir?
By all means, surprise me.
Very good, sir. And he walks off toward the kitchen.
And you, Nurse Chitikret, I got that right. Any family on board?
None for me, Commander.
Well, and he kind of glances around. Guess it makes sense that, well, we're all three in the corner here, enjoying each other's company. He'll just kind of let that float.
Just excited to finally get back to exploring.
I hear you.
Last 6 weeks have been kind of boring down in sick bay.
Well, I'm sure it gives you a chance to brush up on the medical journals and read the latest.
Yeah, but there's a huge disconnect between reading something in a journal and actually being able to perform it.
Too true. I understand that myself.
Not that I'm saying I wish any of the crew to become injured, Commander.
DeGrasse waves his hand. I wouldn't think that for a second, Nurse. Well, now I kind of wish I would have headed down there last week just to give you something to do after I threw my back out doing a little bit of training in the holodeck, but, well, wasn't that serious.
Still, sir, an injury like that could fester for a long time until it potentially does become an issue.
Well,
maybe you should stop off in sick bay just to get it checked out.
I might need to. This isn't actually the first time that it's happened, but no. DeGrasse kind of shakes his head. Guess I'm just not as young as I was before. But where's that drink?
The waiter comes back with your whiskey, and he hands you a plate that looks like a type of red fish with like a lemon pepper sauce. Here you are, Commander. The chef's special for today.
Should I ask?
And the waiter just kind of shakes his head.
Well, never been one to turn down new unknown food. DeGrasse spears a bit and down the hatch.
Go ahead and give me a fitness medicine, DeGrasse. Diff 1.
Okay. Gotta make some adjustments here. And wow.
Yeah, get that roll out of the way, though.
Yeah.
You kind of hold back the urge to spit up the food, as you know this has definitely been over seasoned. You know, very peppery. Not a good mix between the lemon and pepper at all.
DeGrasse leans over and takes a drink of his whiskey. This is unique. What culture is this from?
The chef is trying to recreate some of the Earth's delicacies. I don't think he's got the mixture right.
No, I would say not. I've never been accused of having an iron stomach, but it's maybe a little much on the seasoning. Takes another drink of the whiskey. Well, I think I'm done for the evening on this one. And as his stomach starts to gurgle, he, casually and classily steps up, excuses himself, and he walks towards the door.
And as DeGrasse heads out one exit, in comes the captain and Jezu in from the other entrance.
She heads up to the bar.
Captain, what can I get for you?
Taste from something from home and Jezu's usual.
Not a problem, Captain. And Bob heads over to the replicator and replicates it. Sets your favorite dish in front of you, and then places Jezu's meal at the edge of the bar. So, Captain, how's the transition with the civilians been going?
So far, so good. I haven't heard any complaints.
Definitely tell that this lounge has been a lot busier the last few days.
Well, we did pick up some additional crew members. Granted, they are civilians. Though I'm sure Dana's not too happy about requisitioning one of the hydroponics base for to make into a school. But we have to make do.
So, how long do you think this mission is going to last, Captain?
We're going off into deep space. It's a 5-year exploratory mission, so discretion is in the wind.
Well, it's a good thing I was able to stock up while on Starbase 21.
Well, you'll have a chance to get more supplies you need from 200.
Starbase 200's a little bit too much on the fringe for the stuff I needed to procure. A 5-year mission that calls for quite a bit of my special stock.
Well, we'll next time we get to a more populated area, I'll make sure we stop by in case we need to replenish the stores.
Just have to break out the good stuff for special occasions, Captain.
Well, Bob, thank you as always, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well, Captain.
Come on, Jezdu. She grabs the leash and walks out of the.
Leaving just the 4 senior staff members around their table, finishing up their meal.
Sorry, I don't think I caught that last sentence. Mine.
Yeah, just leaves the 4 members of the senior staff around the table, finishing up their meal and their drinks.
Okay.
Well, I guess the captain didn't want to say hi. Well, I should probably head back to engineering. Or at
I
least
imagine
get
she has
some
her hand.
shut-eye.
Sorry, what?
Or get some shut-eye and then head to engineering.
Yeah. Well, I imagine she has her hands full managing the logistics of dealing with all the civvies.
That's true. I can understand that responsibility is probably quite a bit.
And I'd better head back to my office. We're rewriting some of the security SOPs now that civilians are on board. It's quite the project.
And I guess I probably should get at least a couple hours of sleep before I have to get back to med bay.
Right? Good luck.
Yeah, you too, Nadine.
Night, Commander. Night. Madon and Captain Maxwell. You know, return my dishes and head back to my quarters.
All right. Bridge to Captain.
Go ahead, Bridge.
Captain, we have a ship on sensors. They appear to be on an intercept course. Time to intercept 3 hours.
Are you able to get an identification?
No, Captain. It's a class of ship we have not seen before. It does not appear in any of our databases.
Begin hailing procedures. If they do not respond, raise shields. I'll be up there shortly.
Aye, Captain. Don't think any one of them are on the ship at the moment.
Status report.
Still no response from the unidentified ship, Captain.
Very well. Raise shields. Continue hailing.
Shields raised. Still no response to our hails.
Sova, can you get a... We're still too far out to get a scan on that vessel.
Yes, Captain. They're just out of our short-range sensor sweep.
Tapster, senior staff, please report to the bridge. All senior staff, please report to the bridge.
I will head off to the bridge.
Yeah, I'll hit him.
DeGrasse does so too.
Heading up.
I'm assuming Casey is as well. I think he's AFK for the moment. And stepping onto the bridge are the senior staff.
DeGrasse will walk over and take a seat. Well, Captain, is it another cargo vessel?
A potential cargo vessel that's not answering to our hails. And again, wait, they're heading towards us?
Yes, they are on an intercept course.
And they are currently on an intercept course.
Huh. Did they divert to this intercept course? As in, are they intentionally heading our way?
Yes, they are, Commander.
Huh.
Still no response from our hails.
Captain, they've sent us a message. It appears to be a series of prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, on up to 97.
Awkward. Hello, possibly, Captain.
Send a reply in the reverse order. Let's see what they do.
Give me a whoever's going to send this out. Please give me a control engineering difficulty 1, assisted by the ship's communications engineering.
I'll volunteer since I'm here. You said control engineering?
Yes.
Computers is appropriate?
No, this would be communications.
Oh, okay.
I just need the ship's communications engineering. Okay, you guys still get a momentum. I should maybe take my threat, huh?
You don't need that.
Bless you.
Pardon me, sorry.
Did they respond with the original one?
I did send you something to your messages, Mindrak.
Okay. That was a response? Because I was confused. I thought you were going to give me more. Alright. Captain, they say stand by.
I'm sorry?
The response is stand by.
Stand by. Stand by for what? Further communication? Boarding?
ETA to intercept?
Hold on, I have this written down. Where did it go? We estimate 3 hours, Captain, at our current course and speed.
Is that on audio or visual? On screen.
On screen appears a room filled with water, and there are various consoles lining the back wall that are still totally submerged in water.
Do we even see anybody in there? Just water?
Just water.
This is Captain Israel Prax of the Federation starship Expedition. To whom do I have the pleasure of greeting?
As you wait for response, you see 3 humanoid creatures with greenish blue scales suddenly swim into view. They all look very humanoid with appearance, at least on their faces. Each one is also wearing a personalized seaweed-laced garment on their heads. They have scales instead of skin and webbing on their hands and feet between their fingers and toes. One of them swims up to the camera and starts to make a series of clicks and pops, but in very short succession.
I'm assuming the universal translator is not. See if you can't analyze the language format.
All right, whoever wants to make this roll, I'll give reason or insight with science or command, difficulty 1, assisted by the ship's computer's command.
Nadon, I mean, if you'd like to make the roll. If not, I could make the roll.
Can make it.
Okay. I think your reason science is higher than mine, so.
Nice. Get 3 momentum out of that. And as the clicks and pops all of a sudden transform into English, we have translated your language and upgraded our technology to communicate with you in your preferred method. We are the Gahala. Welcome. We come from the planet Gahala. We are in need of aid. A poison has infiltrated our water and has started to make our pod sick. Please follow us to our Gahala. Estimate total collapse of our pod in 1 month, 19 days, if poison is not found and purged. We will answer what questions you have.
Captain, should we ask them maybe what data they currently have on the poison? Any ideas? It
If
may
you
be
could-
helpful.
Agreed. If you can transmit data on this poison that is infecting your species, please forward all relevant data and we'll see if we can help you.
We do not know the specifics of what is causing this. We have been sent out by our minister to seek outside aid and bring them back to our planet.
Can you send over any astrometrics data on the location of your world?
Our world is hidden in the weeds. Direct navigation is not possible.
Can you elaborate?
You must follow our ship to avoid astronomical hazards. Astronavigational hazards.
She motions to mute the channel. Commander, your thoughts?
Well, Captain, I'm curious as to what they mean by in the weeds. My first impression was some form of seaweed, as in implying that they're under the sea. On the other hand, I wouldn't see how that would be very dangerous for us to navigate ourselves, and how we wouldn't essentially be able to know where that would be. I'm a bit confused.
Just seems really suspicious.
It may be a trap, to your point, Captain.
Motions to unmute the channel.
That was the wrong one.
How long is this journey to your world?
We estimate half a day's time.
Understood. Maintain the intercept course. We'll meet you within 3 hours. And she motions to cut the communications.
Captain, if
Commander
I may,
Nidan, can
they-
you
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
potentially calculate based on their current warp speed a possible location for the planet or their system in general from at the intercept coordinates based on the relative time travel that they gave us?
I could probably calculate a zone of probability, Captain.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Well, Doctor, seems like you might be busy.
Agreed, although it would be helpful to know what type of toxin I'm working with, whether I get a sample or molecular structure.
Well, unfortunately, they're not able to provide that for us, which seems rather odd.
I agree,
Though,
Captain.
though they may not wish to take a sample without, potentially not risking contamination of their own vessel. So, I will give them the benefit of the doubt.
I agree, Captain. I wonder. I was going to say, we have about a month and a half, they mentioned, until I guess a complete collapse of their pod. It would take a half day for us to get to the planet. We have some time to exchange data, and even if they're not willing to share the details of the poison, we may be able to understand the symptoms they're experiencing well enough. And based on our, maybe if they give us any knowledge of their anatomy and their bodily chemistry, we can narrow down a few possibilities as to what it could be. Come at it from the other angle.
It would be helpful, yeah, to at least narrow the field as to what I'm working with. But I won't know for sure until I can actually examine the water table.
Just need the ship's sensors and psi, and this is ultimately a difficulty too because of your sensors. Gain of momentum, and there is a complication on the table.
I think I'll spend and negate the complication. This is bizarre, Captain. The entire zone of probability is empty.
Could it be that they were not speaking figuratively but literally? That potentially this their world lies in a sub-dimension of sorts?
That's what I'd have to conclude at this point, because where I'm calculating they came from, nothing is there. No planets or stars or any stellar bodies large enough to harbor life or enable an ecosystem, even within 5 light years of the zone.
Do you think you could scan for any stellar rifts in that region?
I'll get right on that, Captain. Uh, Scans indicate nothing of that nature, Captain.
Well, if we are dealing with interdimensional species, if I'm not mistaken, from Admiral Janeway's logs, I think they referred to a region known as fluidic space, but there was only one species, or at least a sole species, that resided in that region of space. Commander, you have the bridge. I'm gonna look up some information on some of the Voyager logs. It might be relevant in this matter.
Understood, sir. We'll let you know when we intercept.
Anything anybody wants to do on the bridge before I head to the captain?
Nope, I'm good.
She's just going over the Voyager logs from at the time Captain Janeway is dealing with species 8472.
Okay. Give me a control command difficulty 1. assisted by the ship's computer's command.
Take a threat.
Right, 2 momentum gained. Yes, Captain. You are able to access those files with your current command code level. So you're able to have access to all that information if needed. And we'll go ahead and speed up time to the intercept. We'll go ahead and go into a new scene here. And you put the ship on screen, and the ship is a smaller ship, maybe about the size of a runabout. It's a very sleek and streamlined, and looks very aerodynamic for what would you think of a spaceship. And it has like a blue lights coming from its engine core, and like a few running lights along the sides.
Open hailing frequencies to the Gahala.
Channel open, Captain. And on screen appears that same water-filled room. Navigational sensors are running at peak efficiency. We are ready to navigate.
Understood. We will follow you.
Match our course and speed. Do not deviate.
Understood. Mr. Casey, make sure our shields are raised at all times.
Understood, Captain.
And Lieutenant On, keep a lookout for anything out of the ordinary.
Yes, Captain.
All right, to match them, I'm gonna need a control con difficulty 2. Assisted by engines con. Computers con. Let's make this computers con.
We'll activate Basin. Roll draw. Flight control systems for focus. Or astronavigation.
Yes.
Take a threat. You said difficulty 2, right?
Yeah.
See, he's got this.
Oh dear God. 4 momentum gained. Matching their course and speed, Captain. A max warp of warp 1.9997.
destination. Yeah, we're following them.
All right. Do you guys do anything or want to do anything while you follow them? This would probably be about 9 hours based on the time they said.
Let's see if we can't get a scan on their ship.
All right. This will be a reason or insight using con, security, or engineering, whichever you guys like. Difficulty 1, assisted by the sensors and either engineering or security. Or basically sensors in whatever discipline you use.
I guess I can make that roll if folks are okay. Unless we'd rather Mandrock do it.
So it's a reason, insight, plus con, security, or engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Basically whatever you guys fancy.
Cool.
My reason engineering is 17.
Yeah, I think probably Mandrock is the best one to handle this.
All right. And this is. Remind me again what this is for. Oh, scanning the ship?
Scanning the ship. Yep, scanning the ship.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't have any.
Just need sensors engineering.
Do you have it, Mandrock, or do you want me to roll for it?
Oh, I can probably do it. Or you can. It's all good.
I have the sheet pulled up. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, that'd be easier then. Just go ahead.
All right, you get 1 momentum out of it. So I guess I put you up 1 float. In your messages, Mendrock.
Alright, Captain. It looks like their ship is pretty simple. They just added a the warp system, so it looks like their ship was meant for short-range space flight initially. Um, it only can do warp 2 at best. They have no weapons or shields, but they do have an advanced structural integrity field. Probably has to do with them living on a quiet world, perhaps. That's my theory anyway.
Does it indicate that their warp technology is of their own making, or
Can I tell? Or do I need to spend the momentum or something?
I'll get back to you.
Oh, okay. It is theirs, Captain.
Well, Captain, it doesn't look like they're looking for a fight. That's all they've got.
maintain shield status just in case? With that, I think all of us could do for a little shut eye. Let the next shift know to wake us, and during the shortly before we arrive, or need of emergency. And the captain gets up and heads to her quarters.
Well, I'm assuming we can all do that then if we want. And head
Yeah.
on.
You guys can turn it over to beta and gamma shifts if you'd like. Is there anything anybody wants to do before we speed up time to the next part? Any role play, any scanning, anything like that?
Yeah, DeGrasse is just going to go through, reported logs of other ships in the area. Look for, any sign that any other Starfleet vessels have run into any ships in this area, any odd space phenomenon that might indicate some sort of rift or passage somewhere else, anything like that.
All the reports in this sector are come back clean. No reports of ships, no anomalous readings, no reports of lost ships anytime, in the last couple decades.
Okay.
Pretty clean.
All right. Yeah, in that case, he's gonna turn over to the next shift and head to his quarters.
Anybody else want to do anything? All right. We'll speed a plot where everyone's back on the bridge and dropping out of warp as the other ship drops out of warp. The Gahala ship has dropped out of warp, Captain, in our holding position.
Are we like in the middle of space?
Yes. quick sensor scans indicates that there's nothing around you. No systems, no planets, no gravitational disturbances, nothing. You're in, dead space, so to speak.
Hail the vessel. Open hailing frequencies.
Open, Captain.
Is this the intended location?
We have arrived. Stand by. As you see the other two move to consoles in the back wall. We are preparing to bring you to our planet.
Understood.
Anticipate minor damage to systems due to your inadequate structural integrity field.
Mr. Casey, please reinforce our shield systems and structural integrity.
Hi, Captain.
Radio modulate shields to up our resistance.
All right. Casey can either roll for that or you guys can use 2 momentums. Up to you guys.
What's the roll?
I gotta find it. Hold on. Control security. Assisted by the ship structure. Engineering difficulty 2. And it increases the ship's resistance by 1, and you could increase it by 1 per momentum.
I say we just spend the momentum, but I don't know if anyone. I don't know if we'll need it too soon. But I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts.
That's fine.
I'll just spend the momentum.
Lieutenant, keep sensors. Figure out how they're able to. I'm assuming open this gateway, and where exactly we're going.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, your ship shakes violently. The sounds of consoles exploding all throughout the bridge. The red alert Caxlon sound throughout the ship. If I can find my noises. Where's my red alert sound now? Huh. Not there anymore, apparently. Interesting. At any rate, red alert is sounding, and on the view screen in front of you, is a planet. As you could see, a type of beam emanating from the planet's surface suddenly turn off. The ship that was here with you starts heading towards the planet's surface. recon puts you at about 100,000 kilometers away from the planet.
Helm. Enter orbit.
Aye, sir. Enter a standard orbit.
Damage report on our ship systems, Mr. Casey. Or ops.
Captain, we've sustained some damage to the EPS and minor hull breaches on Deck 19. Sickbay is also reporting several minor injuries, but nothing too serious.
Get repair teams on that right away. Mendrock. Are we still in communication with the vessel? The Gaha vessel.
Yes, Captain. And on screen appears the three that were aboard the small ship.
Are you representatives of your government, or is there others that we need to talk to?
We are sending coordinates to meet our scientist and minister. They will be able to explain the severity of our situation. They will meet you here, and you may ask your questions.
Very well. Lieutenant Down, what did we just pass through?
I'll give you a roll for that.
Cool. Captain, just as a note, the coordinates are along the coast of one of the continents, near a large underwater artificial structure of some sort.
Damn, the Don can't seem to miss today. Just need the ship. And it's in your messages when done.
This is interesting, Captain. We're in some sort of a subspace bubble. Seems that the solar system we're in has 8 planets and a sun. But I can't detect anything past the edge of the bubble.
Interesting. Well, collect whatever data you can on this. Be interesting to pass along to the science division for future study. See if you can't get a quick scan of that installation. Let's figure out if we need to proper gear. Scan the location where they want us to beam down to.
The coordinates are basically like on the beach. So you're scanning onto the land part. But if there's anything specific you want to scan for.
What's the oxygen, nitrogen content, etc. Like, is it breathable?
Sure. Give me reason or insight with science or medicine, difficulty 1. Already adjusted for the ship's sensors, science, or sensors, medicine.
I hear something happen.
Looks like we're going to the beach.
Who's making the roll?
Probably the Don. You said it was science, right?
Or medicine?
I think maybe the doctor. I need to step away for a sec anyway.
Looks like the doctor's up then. Doc, you still with us?
Doctor, you might be on mute. Well,
Looks like you're up to grass.
yeah, I don't know, man. This is one I'd really want to wait for Doc or Nadon on. Okay, so it's inside.
Oh, sorry, that's difficulty 1. Sorry.
Oh, okay, awesome.
I forgot to
Yeah.
adjust it for sensors.
What's the scan specifically for again?
Basically just checking the planet, make sure you could breathe the atmosphere, make sure you don't need any like exosuits or breathing apparatuses, anything like that.
Okay.
The typical life support scan.
Would sensor operations apply as a focus? Okay.
Yep.
Right. Here goes nothing.
Get 2 momentum out of it.
We will take it. Captain, it looks like a Class M oxygen, nitrogen atmosphere. Balmy 29 degrees Celsius. Other than needing to bring a little bit of sunscreen, I'd say it's safe.
Any readings or whatnot on this poison or pathogen that they're dealing with?
GM, is that an extra roll?
Probably a momentum question.
Okay. Yeah, we'll spend. I can't see anything in the atmosphere.
Very well. We'll assemble a way team. Standard protocol when dealing with environmental hazards. You still don't know whether or not this pathogen or poison they're talking about can be passed on to us as well, or the cause of it as of yet.
Understood, sir. We'll get right on it. And I think half the crew might be out right now, but we'll take them with us anyway.
They all should have stayed away from the chef special.
Yeah, seriously. All right, I'll take the doctor, Nadon, Casey and Medrock. Let's take the whole crew. Standard compliments. Doctor, are you back yet? Okay. So I'm going to need some help. What would be the standard protocol for environmental hazards and poisons?
You're going down in essentially hazmat suits.
Okay. All right.
Essentially EVA suits. So.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll do that.
Don't know if there's
No. No, and you guys have plenty of time to prepare, so don't need to pay for anything you need.
Yeah. I would say we should be good. Casey, are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you here? Okay. All right. Well, I think we're good.
All right. So if the away team is ready, I'll go ahead and waive the roll to transport. It's a pretty run-of-the-mill transport down. All right. The away team is transported down to a sandy beach in one of the smaller continents. Standing waiting on the beach for you are three individuals. Two which you would assume to be the males of the species, and one female. The male in the middle is all smiles as he meets you. Welcome to our world. I am Beren, Minister of Gahala. Thank you for responding to our call for help.
Of course, Minister. Well, I am Commander DeGrasse of USS Expedition from the United Federation of Planets. It's, well, in our interest to offer aid in any way that we can. So, your ship told us that there was a poison that was destroying your pods.
Yes. Gavik, our director of science, can explain further. And he kind of gestures to the female of the group. Yes, several of our population has come down with an illness. We are unsure of where they got this illness, but we estimate that it will spread to our entire population. And we estimate that it will become fatal in less than 2 months. We have an area set up for quarantine if you would like to examine the infected there.
Absolutely. By all means, lead the way. And as we're walking, I'll ask. So it may have been a translation issue. We heard poison at first, but this sounds like pathogen, some sort of an infection. Is that true?
We are unsure of the exact cause of this ailment. It could be poison, it could be a pathogen. The symptoms, however, are very real. And the suffering it has inflicted on no less than half our pod already.
When you say pod, how many individuals of your species are in this pod?
The Gahala pod is roughly 15 billion inhabitants.
Are there other pods?
The Gahala pod is all of us.
Understood.
But we have smaller pods to donate cities, to donate families, to donate individuals. They kind of, and when the minister says that, he's kind of gesturing to his head dressing. As he's saying this.
Other smaller pods. Are these also members of your species?
They are all part of the greater Gahala pod.
DeGrasse will let that slide, as it doesn't fully answer his question.
What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, no. Yeah, that wasn't a criticism of you. DeGrasse is trying to determine if it sounds like these are colonies consisting of the same species, or if these are tributaries that they've conquered.
Oh, I get it. And I probably can't clarify that either at this point. Because that's internal thought.
Yeah, no worries. He'll just try to suss that out as the engagement continues.
After a short walk inland, you guys come across what looks to be like a farm. And it has various Gahala workers working in it. Some of them seems to be picking crops. Others seem to be watering other crops. Some seems to be spraying chemicals on other crops. Very much farming. The Gahala live underneath the waves. However, our food sources come from the land masses. Entire pods are set up around these land masses. And pods are spread out throughout the entire planet to harvest the most resources.
That's interesting. And how long have the Gahala, existed as a civilization?
We were able to trace our pod ancestry further than 15,000 cycles.
It's a long time.
In the distance, you kind of see something on the horizon that's almost like blocking out the sunlight, so to speak. And it's loud and noisy. And as it draws closer, you can definitely make out that it's some kind of bug that's arriving on your location. Within moments, your entire group is just swarmed by what looks to be locusts. I need everybody to roll me. Where is it at? Fitness con difficulty 1.
Survival for focus?
Sure.
I will take that as well.
Well, my good luck just finished.
Just need the doctor.
The good rolls never last.
Yep.
At least we got a momentum, so we can quash
Yeah,
that.
we can quash that.
Wonder if we lost the doctor.
That would be less than ideal for the storyline.
He did say he was on mobile only, so yeah.
Yeah.
Vendruk just said, yeah. Not sure he's still with us.
I was typing at the same time. Yeah, you could manually disconnect him and see if he shows back up.
We could also activate like the doctor support character and just have her down here until we.
Oh,
if
that's
he
a good
comes
point.
back.
Yeah, just swap them back in, I guess.
Guess it makes sense if we're doing medical stuff that we have multiple medical people anyway.
Who do you want, Mackenzie?
Sure.
It would be Mackenzie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say with her focuses, they would come in handy.
Think the doctor's phone blew up.
Well,
Looks like we just lost 2 doctors.
All right, you gain a momentum after all that. You have 2 complications.
one was squashed, the other one can't be, which I'm assuming Nadaz gets
Okay.
squashed, Mackenzie's can't.
Okay. Most of you are able to, kind of flick away the locusts as they approach. However, Nadan and the doctor, the swarms hit you with such ferocity that it knocks you over. So you're just kind of knocked down. But Mackenzie, your suit basically says that it's been breached. That the locusts have basically torn a small hole in one of the seams of the suit.
She'd really better find a cure now. Extra motivation.
It's about to say incentive. So DeGrasse is going to turn to her. And then turn to Mendrock and say, Lieutenant, any way we can patch this hole?
Sure, take out my engineering kit and see if I can duct tape it or reseal it somehow.
All right. I will make this a daring plus engineering difficulty 2.
Alright. Daring plus engineering. I do have. No, I get rid of that. I changed it. Okay. Let's just go for it.
Get a momentum.
Very nice.
And Mendrock, you're able to do an expert patchwork repair of the suit and are able to reseal it.
Excellent. Should be good to go, Commander. You alright, Nadine?
Mackenzie's got to do a scan of herself. Quick medical scan. Since the suit was breached.
And as Mendrock repairs the suit and Mackenzie gives herself a full medical workup, the swarm of the locust type bugs fly off. But you can see the devastation they have left on the local crop. As you probably estimate maybe a third of it was just destroyed.
Commander, if you don't mind, I would like to scan our host here to see if there are any ill effects from the locust creatures.
Absolutely, Doctor. Are you okay?
I appear to be fine. There was no pathogens detected.
The ministers you're with are fine also.
DeGrasse will turn. Is this a common occurrence?
The locust swarm was always talked about in our world, but only recently have they seemed to have awoken up their swarms. But the devastating effects on our food supplies could mean bringing us to starvation if we do not take steps to prepare. And to try to combat this swarm.
Well, they certainly don't seem very pleasant. How long have they been an issue?
We thought they were eradicated 200 years ago, 200 cycles ago. But in the past 6 months, they have become active again.
If you don't mind, when did this poison or plague that you've been dealing with started?
Science director? We started noticing the effects of this illness roughly 3 months ago. But our study of the swarms do not indicate a correlation between them and this illness.
Understood. Do you have any theories on why these locusts are back?
The locust is a naturally occurring pest on this world. Our ancestors took great measures to try to eradicate them to preserve our food, but they missed some, it would seem.
And what sort of steps are you taking to eradicate them now? I'm assuming you're trying to.
The first step is we have to safeguard our food supplies. A defense against the locusts were developed and is currently being applied to the plants. And they point out over the field to the farmers. The protective crops in this field were not touched by the locusts.
Understood. Nadan, would you mind taking a scan of the substance that they're spraying on those plants?
Aye, Captain.
We will get a farmer to accompany you, Lieutenant Nadan. In the meantime, we must take you to our injured population.
GM, how far away are the plants that are being sprayed?
Like right next to you.
Okay. Lieutenant, how long do you think it would take for you to scan these plants? To gather a full reading.
About an hour, Captain.
The Grosh with the promotion again.
Commander, sorry.
Pains me to do this. Because you're the only one that can fight. DeGrasse will turn to Casey and say, Casey, I want you to hang back with Nadan. Make sure everything proceeds smoothly, and then catch up as quickly as you can.
Of course, sir.
DeGrasse will turn to the minister and say, after you.
It's just in this structure up ahead. All right. I think we'll do the medical group first. And then we'll come back and do the Nadan and Casey. So the minister takes you into a structure that it looks like it was prepared rather quickly, and recently in the last few months. Inside are probably at least 50 sick individuals. They're all on types of beds. They're all receiving medical treatment.
Does it look like they're close to maximum capacity?
In this particular one, yeah. Maybe a little bit over.
DeGrasse will say, well, Doctor, I think this is your time to shine.
Tell me, when did you say it was 3 months ago when your people began falling ill?
That is correct. That is when we started to notice the symptoms associated with this.
What are these symptoms?
We have noticed loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, dehydration, even though they get plenty of fluids, rashes, seizures, weight loss, muscle cramps. The seizures and the muscle cramps seem to take the most far gone patients, the most infected, the ones we think were infected the longest.
And typically, on first onset of initial symptoms, how long does the patient usually have? Or some have been able to recover from this illness?
So far, we have not had one person recover from this illness. But we do expect that after the muscle cramps and the seizures, death is soon to follow.
I see. Do you mind if I conduct a preliminary scan? Of a patient?
Of course. And they kind of just step back to let you work.
Yeah, so she's going to do an initial scan on at least one of the patients at start.
Okay, this will just be this will be an insider reason with science or medicine. We'll make this a difficulty 1.
Xenobiology for a focus.
Yes.
Take a threat. She's got both medicine.
All right, you gain a momentum. So your initial scans, of course, in the patient you're studying, it does show that they do seem to be nauseous. They definitely have lost weight compared to some of the other ones. Oops, wrong computer.
I like to scan, if you don't mind, I like to scan a healthy individual and try to form a baseline.
Here, hold on. I gotta send you some info. Wrong computer here. There we go. So to clarify, because I had to redo some of this, the person you scan are showing various levels of whatever that is, however you want to pronounce that. But then we'll do your baseline scan. And Doctor, you're with the away team on the planet if you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, just Discord issues.
Yeah, we kind of figured. That seems to be what is causing the symptoms.
Dr. Pearson, it appears that several of these individuals are suffering from low levels of cholesterol. Or, I can't even say it.
It's a science word.
Yes, it is a very much a science word. Choline bacteriaceae. It would appear that usually this compound serves as a basis for neurotransmission. This would coincide with the seizures that they are reporting. As for the other symptoms, that's unusual to connect the dots there. Could be looking at a potential some sort of compound that's interfering with this, or something else. If
Perhaps working in tandem with it. Uh, okay. With the information that we have gathered, do I have any idea as to how to start counteracting this?
You're still very much in the preliminary stages. This is like the first scan.
Okay.
I think Prax had an idea to do something, but we're trying to get you caught up to speed too.
Yeah, I know.
we need to probably formulate a baseline for normal, what is considered their baseline for normal neurotransmissions, along with other. Considering this problem started 3 months ago, there could be correlation with the current locust problem that they're having on their planet.
Of course. Do. And this cholinesterase is it native to the planet or not?
So cholinesterase, that word is basically like a neurotransmitter. It's present in all humanoid species.
Okay.
It's a real thing. So
Yeah.
feel free to look this up too.
Yeah, so we definitely need a baseline for them then.
Okay. I have a roll.
Okay.
This will be insight or reason with either science or medicine. This is an extended task, so it'll be difficulty 2, work 8, magnitude 2.
Okay, well it'll definitely be reason medicine for me.
And the other doctor can assist, of course.
Yeah. Would a focus in xenobiology apply?
Yes.
Okay, good. How much momentum do we have?
3.
I'll take 1 for that. And none of my talents will fire, so oop, wrong button. That one, guys. There.
Oh, very, very good roll. You gain 2 momentum out of this. Now you can go ahead and roll me the challenge dice.
Yeah.
Right now you're at 7, so you give me a momentum, you get both.
Yeah.
I'll just put the info in the general chat for everybody.
Okay. Okay.
Perhaps we need to talk with their science director to ascertain whether or not the food that they're consuming is widespread. It's some sort of common form that they're either consumption or other forms of transmission that they could be the cause of this.
Agreed.
All right. While you guys work in that information, we'll head over to Nadan and Casey. And Nadan and Casey, you are led by a farmer to basically where they're spraying something on their food. I believe is where you guys were heading. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct.
All right. So, what do you guys do when you get over there? It's basically just like probably a group of 4 or 5 farmers. They're just spraying this section of the crop.
Sorry, I might have missed this. Are they spraying it to like prevent the locusts? Oh, I see.
I would say that was the assumption on our side and the implication on theirs. But I don't think they directly said it.
Well, Casey will follow Nadan and provide muscle. He's not so science smart.
Yeah, but you're medicine smart.
That is true. Emergency medicine smart. I have like no insight. Stop the bleeding. I guess we'll approach one of the workers. Good day.
Hello. How can I help you? One of the workers stops spraying for a moment to acknowledge you.
I am Lieutenant Commander Arno Casey of Starfleet, a branch of the United Federation of Planets, and this is Lieutenant Junior Grade Nadan. We are here at the request of your government in regard to the outbreak of sorts that is happening here, and we were curious as to what you are conducting currently.
We have been tasked with safeguarding our food against the locust pest.
Interesting. Have you dealt with these locusts much before?
Certainly not in our lifetime. We are told that this is a most ancient menace.
What are your thoughts, Lieutenant? It could possibly be connected to the disease.
Perhaps. Do you mind if I scan what you're spraying on the crops?
Very well. And he hands you the spray canister he's using.
I will scan it.
Give me a reason or insight with science. We will call this difficulty 3.
Would I be able to assist?
Sure.
Not that it'll probably make a difference, but
Yeah. I'll spend momentum for 1 extra die as well.
insight science, sorry.
I think it was reason or insight.
Yes, reason or insight.
They are the same, so. Oop, I had presence. Well, my reasons. even.
Wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it's the same as my insight score.
All right, now Don, you scan the thing, and your tricorder comes back with a cross-reference from an ancient Earth text, and it just gives you a name.
What's the name?
I was typing out to you. Basically says the compounds located in there close. Basically, your tricorder comes back and says something along the lines of, the compound you have just scanned is closely related to that name and that info.
Related to something called chlorpyrifos. Can I pull information from the ship's database about what chlorpyrifos is?
Yeah. Give me. This will probably be control science. We'll make this a difficulty 2. You know, try to link the databases.
Okay. I will then spend 1 more momentum just to get an extra die. Want to make sure I succeed on this. Whoops. Shoot, sorry. I accidentally clicked twice.
So I'll take the first one then.
Yeah. Can I spend per the mission directive to try to re-roll the 2 that didn't get successes?
Sure.
Okay, I will spend my determination to do that then. That's better.
Yep, gain of momentum.
Sweet.
So you have access to the database. So if there's specific questions you're looking for, I'll try to answer.
What is the mechanism of action of this compound? And are there any known health risks associated with it? Are the two main questions I'm interested in.
So basically, like how it prevents. Basically, like how's it work to prevent the bugs from eating the plant? Basically.
Yeah, and are there any known health risks associated with it? Presumably because it's a pesticide, and because of how basically most pesticides are toxins of some sort. Admittedly selective toxins, but they're usually toxins. It probably has some sort of health effects associated with it.
Yep, I'll write this out.
Great.
I think that is close to what you asked. It'll probably lead to more questions, but I think we're almost there.
Yes. I'm actually just typing a follow-up question. This is a commander. This could be what we're looking for.
Unfortunately, I think the commander's in the medical tent currently.
But Commander Casey is right
Yes.
next to her.
That's the commander I was referring to.
I stand back. That is
Oh,
true.
sorry, I missed that.
I said, Commander, this could be what we're looking for.
What have you found?
This is a substance that apparently is already in our databases from its history on Earth, being used by humans in the late 20 or in the mid to late 20th and early 21st century. It's known as chlorpyrifos in our database, and it's associated with pretty much all of the symptoms that we have had reported, and it can cause those symptoms either with low level chronic exposure or with single large doses, Commander. Basically, it works on the pests by damaging the nervous system and causing nervous system dysfunction, and unfortunately, it can work on sentients in the same manner. Essentially,
weird.
they are nerve agenting themselves. Would be my hypothesis at this point.
Interesting. I don't think I would pick sarin as my first choice for a pesticide. Is there any way to reverse the effects of this once they've set in?
I will see if that information is also in our database. I mean, I will note it appears to be acting similar to a very high overdose of an anticholinergic agent, so presumably something that counteracts the effect of anticholinergics would work. Frankly, I think that's a better question for the doctor, Commander.
If I'm being honest, Lieutenant, you've totally lost me, but I trust that you know what is going on. Casey's gonna go over to the nearest farmer then. Excuse me. Do you have a moment?
Of course. What can I help you with?
The lieutenant and I have found evidence which suggests that the chemical which you are applying in order to combat these locusts is in fact the source of the disease currently plaguing your people.
And I will look at the person applying the compound and say, you should also probably be wearing protective equipment. The material you're treating the crops with is quite toxic.
The science director did not mention anything about this substance being toxic. They said it was designed to only work on the locust pest, while rendering our food still edible.
Perhaps your biology is different. I'm certainly not a physician. I will say I would not want to be breathing aerosolized particles or droplets of this material, or having it in contact with my skin.
If this is causing the sickness, the minister and science director would want to know.
I will try and get in contact with the minister. In the meanwhile, I suggest that you cease applying this chemical until we have this sorted out.
I'm sure we could take a small lunch break. But unless the minister approves us ceasing work, the food supply must be protected.
That may be, but I will say if your food supply won't matter if the planet dies off as a result of this chemical applying. I'll have this sorted out with the minister as soon as I can, and as you suggested, perhaps a lunch break is in order.
And he'll nod to the other members of this group. Lunch it is.
I'll then tap my. So, do we have like contact now with the local ministers or local government?
They're still with the other group.
Okay. I'll just tap my commage then.
And we'll come back to that, Casey. We'll head back to the doctors, DeGrasse, Mendrock, and the ministers.
Sure.
Because I believe they were about to ask the minister questions as well. I could have been mistaken, though. But the doctor group just got all of that information from studying baselines of all the patients.
Well, Doctor, I suggest we look into if those levels are indeed lower than what they should be, potentially looking at inhibitors or something blocking the neurotransmissions.
Agreed. We also need to try and figure out some way to reverse its effects. Not only block it.
I think we should try to find the cause first, though, Doctor. If we don't know the cause, our treatments may become ineffective.
Okay, so we haven't heard from.
We have not.
Okay.
This is probably a good time to make that happen. Casey, you chirp your combat.
Lieutenant Commander Casey to Commander DeGrasse.
As he just leaves.
Actually, you caught me right before I left. So, give me just one sec.
Like, as soon as you were starting to talk, I noticed his message.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Commander DeGrasse.
Commander, are you with the minister?
Currently, yes. Do I need to step away?
No, I believe he needs to hear this. Lieutenant Nadan and I have found evidence that the pesticide which is being applied in order to combat the locust problem is a likely cause of the current outbreak that is happening to these people. It's almost a nerve agent which they're applying, and seems to be able to have the same effects on sentient beings as it does on the insects. We've convinced the farmers here to take a short break from applying this chemical, but they won't stop the work entirely without approval from the minister.
Understood. Well, and DeGrasse glances at the minister. Thank you, Casey. Make your way to the medical tent as quickly as you can.
Aye, sir. We're on our way.
And DeGrasse will step back from the group and excuse himself from the minister. Tap his comm badge. Commander DeGrasse to the expedition.
Go ahead, Commander.
Well, Captain, Casey and Nadan believe that they may have discovered what the cause of the mysterious illness is. Turns out that it may be related to, well, some sort of pesticide that they're using to control the local, well, some sort of locust population. It's been devastating their crops recently. We were able to tie the timing of the locust infestation to the spraying of the crops to the illness that's been spreading amongst the species here. And Nadan was able to, well, directly tie it to some sort of pesticide or chemical that was invented and researched early on in Earth's history. So we think we know, well, we think we know that this is the cause. Before proceeding, I was wanting to get your thoughts on this. They seem to be a little hesitant to stop using this pesticide, sir.
Gather what information you can from their minister, whether or not they have discovered that this pesticide is causing their illness, or if they're turning a blind eye to it. Keep in mind, Commander, at this point, the Prime Directive may apply here.
Understood, sir.
Tread carefully, Commander.
Sir, if I may, is alerting them to the fact that this chemical could be causing their condition a violation of the Prime Directive, or is pushing for them to stop using it a violation? I'm unclear.
Gather what information, ask them what they know about the pesticide they're using, and if they believe that there's any harmful effects to their people. Do not allude that we are aware that that pesticide could be the cause of it, or do not attempt to alter their mindset that they need to stop using the pesticide.
Okay. Understood, Captain. Thank you.
Good luck, Commander.
Thank you, sir.
Expedition out.
And so DeGrasse will rejoin the group.
And you probably get there around the same time that Casey and Nadan arrive at the medical tent.
Well, Lieutenant, let's get your information to one of the doctors and have them confirm that, well, the symptoms that they're seeing match up with a poisoning that would be due to a chemical like this. And let's solidify our knowledge there. And in the meantime, I'll see what I can find out from the minister.
Hi, Commander.
Sorry, guys, I'm signing back into Roll20 here. Might take me a second.
No worries.
And all right, just one sec, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, DeGrasse will walk up to the minister and just say, Minister, a word?
Have you found something, Commander?
We think we might. Well, do you mind stepping away for a moment?
Of course. And he'll leave his group and find a nice little private-ish spot.
Minister, how much do you know about, well, the chemical that you have been spraying on the crops to help deal with the insect infestation?
I unfortunately don't know too much about the chemical compound. My science director was in charge of developing and distributing the chemical in order to safeguard our crops against this locust infestation.
Understood. Well, do you mind if we include them in this conversation as well?
Science director, if you will. And the science director comes over to your group. Minister? I think you need to hear this, science director.
Director, I was just asking the minister here. How much do you know about this this chemical that you have been spraying on the crops to deal with the locust infestation?
I have one of the doctors that developed this chemical to combat the locust pest problem.
Oh, you yourself are?
That is correct.
And could you describe or tell me a little bit about why you settled on this particular chemical for this job?
It seemed to be the most effective way to deter these locust pests, while at the same time preserving our food source. It would attempt to rid the locust off our planet permanently.
And I'm assuming that you tried, well, various chemicals and decided that this one was the best to use?
This one was the easiest to produce on the scale required for our entire planet's food supplies.
Interesting. Well, I'm a bit of a scientist in myself. That was, or a bit of a scientist myself. That was my, well, my field before my current position. I would be interested in, well, any data that you had related to the process that you used to research these various chemicals and, well, determine their effectiveness and, well, the effects that they might have on not just the locust populations, but other parts of your ecosystem throughout the planet. Do you have that data to provide?
Time was not on our side, Commander. We needed a compound that would work quickly to preserve our food and to deal with these pests. Full testing was not possible when staring down at global starvation of our people. We determined that the effects on our environment were negligible to that of starvation and famine.
And is research still continuing on this?
Research is always ongoing in our planet.
On this chemical in particular?
Of course. But it seems quite effective at ridding the locust population.
Can I insight check this person?
Sure, what are you trying to find out?
Basically, if he's trying to hide anything or if he's otherwise lying to me.
I'll give you an opposed roll.
Okay.
Do you just want to roll it straight up? Do you want to spend anything?
What's the roll?
Oh, President's Command. Sorry.
Okay.
No, wait, no, sorry. Insight Command. Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, persuasion as a focus wouldn't really apply here.
Nope.
Yep, I'll burn a momentum for an additional die, and yeah, let's see what happens.
Currently, it is a... Nope, you win. You get a momentum. Head to math. Let me type something to you. Change the might be to definitely.
Gotcha.
I think that looks better.
So again, science director, in order for us to, well, lend our expertise to understand everything that's going on with your planet's ecology, the locust swarms, the mysterious illness of which we don't know the cause yet, and well, to successfully treat it, it would be very useful to have access to all the data that you've been able to gather and store for all of these events. Minister, surely you must understand.
Science director, what is he referring to? What information would you like to know, Commander?
Any data related to the ecological effects of the locust infestation, data related to, well, any sort of mitigation strategies or techniques that were investigated to then deal with that. And then also any data that you have about the spots where this illness first cropped up. If symptoms have changed from the outset to where we are currently, and how quickly this has spread throughout the population, all of this data would be very useful.
Give me a presence command. I'm going to make this a difficulty of 3.
Sounds good. Persuasion for a focus?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, can I burn 2 momentum and then a threat for extra 2 die?
I do like threat.
Nice. Okay, let's do it.
The chemical compound is working exactly as it's supposed to against the locusts. We did also expect some residual effects on the local populace that were to apply said chemical compound. And we at the Science Directorate did anticipate a certain level of illness creeping into the local farming population. We considered that these losses from the farmers were to be acceptable.
And Minister, were you aware of this decision? Sorry, GM. You may have cut out.
My backup?
Yes.
I think my internet connection might have been on the fritz briefly. The minister looks in shock at what he's hearing.
Okay, well, I will leave you gentlemen to discuss this briefly. Excuse me for just one moment. And DeGrasse will step back and tap his comm badge. Away team to Expedition.
Go ahead, wait team.
Well, Captain, I was able to gather some more information. Seems like the effects of this chemical were well known to a certain part of the government. The science director was holding back on all the information, but I was able to talk it out of him. It seems that the science directorate was aware of this and put the chemical into production and use anyway. The leader here, the minister, didn't seem to be aware that, well, there would be any ill effects on the local population, or that the science director chose to make this decision himself. So it seems we might have a little bit of a disagreement in the local government. Herself.
Understood. Till such time. Confer with the doctors. I believe that if the nerve agent is the actual cause, or this pesticide is the actual cause of their illness. If that is concluded, then we cannot progress any further on this unless they are willing to make certain changes themselves. Prime directive applies at this point.
So I'm clear, Captain. Confirm diagnosis with the doctor. And if this does appear to be the case, then there's nothing else we can do.
Correct. If they're already aware that if this pesticide is the cause of this, then we can potentially continue our aid with them, but only if all parties agree to it.
Understood, Captain.
Expedition out.
DeGrasse will go back to the minister and science director.
And as you come,
yeah,
the minister is just chewing out the science director. You know, like the whole, how could you? Why was I kept in the dark about this? You're killing our people. You know, the whole 9 yards. You know, the typical ass chewing, so to speak.
So DeGrasse will gingerly walk up, wait until there appears to be a breath taken by the minister, and then jump in and say, Minister, may I have a word with you?
One moment, Commander. Oh, I gotta find her name. There's one thing I want to do before that. Gavik, you are no longer the director of science. Effective immediately. Now leave my sight. And he'll just turn his back and start walking away from the science director. And he'll come up to you, Commander.
Well, Minister, I hope I wasn't out of line there.
Not at all, Commander. Thank you for exposing this treachery.
Well, with that said, Minister, I've been ordered by my captain to understand if there's anything that you would like us to do in this situation. Obviously, you know the root cause of the illness. I'm sure you can deal with that adequately. As far as the sick individuals here, I can check with my doctor, my medical team, to understand if any are in extreme danger of dying soon. We can stabilize those individuals. I'm sure that we have the technology, or even if we don't fully understand your physiology, we can gather enough in concert with your medical team. But with that said, the decision's up to you. We will do anything that you need us to do.
We are a strong and resourceful people, Commander. We will be able to come through this, but please help the sick. You seem to have knowledge of what is happening to them. Please help them however you can.
Yes, sir. We'll do what we can. DeGrasse will make his way over to his medical team. Looks like we lost the doctor, so it's Dr. McKenzie. He'll walk up to Dr. McKenzie and say, "Doctor."
Commander,
Have you had a chance to speak with Lieutenant Nadan yet?
GM.
You probably had the opportunity while to compare notes while the talking was going on.
It does seem the likely culprit that this pesticide would be acting as some sort of nerve agents, causing the issues that we're seeing within the population. Whether or not we can counteract that remains to be seen.
Well, do what we can to help the sick individuals here. You're obviously in charge of the medical response. Lieutenant Nadan is at your disposal for any sort of pharmacological research that you need to be done. But please, help the sick. Teach them to help the sick in any way you can. And let me know if you need anything.
So, GM, I would like to find the essentially, or I'm assuming Nidon took scans and has an idea of what the nerve agent compound is made out of.
Yeah, once you got the name of the pesticide from Nadan, the medical computer spit back a treatment for it. One does exist. One exists today, actually, for this. So yes, it's just a case of replicating what you need now.
Commander, there is a treatment already available that we can replicate and disperse to the population. However, I am in. If they do not stop using this pesticide, giving them the cure would be meaningless.
perhaps an alternative to their pesticide. Maybe using some ultrasonic frequency or something to repel the insects or block them with the force field of the crops or something. Make them hunt something else. I don't know what other options they tried before they, dug into poisoning.
Of course, the commander's AFK.
Of course.
Since I'm thinking about it, um, look up what humans did with their locust issues. If they had any alternatives to pesticides or any other information for other societies in the Federation. Just as ideas.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of what they're doing today is GMO. But they're also, like, if they're not GMOing their plants entirely, they're using a different kind of pesticide.
Yeah. I'm sure science is far evolved to improve ways to deal with it.
Now, what they would do in like 100 years from now, it's hard for me to guess.
Indoor hydroponic farming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my sister's actually a farmer, and apparently there's a lot of stuff that you can do with regards to things like companion planting and other sorts of methods to try to discourage pest growth without needing to use as much pesticides. So apparently certain plants, if you plant them near other plants, help prevent pest infestations and stuff.
See, we're having fun while learning.
Yeah. I don't really know very much detail. I just know what she tells me because she's honestly forgotten more about growing things than I will ever know.
Ah, the commander's back.
Yes.
After he missed a couple of speeches from Mackenzie and Mendrock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were talking to you. Then, like, all of a sudden, it's like they finished. Like, oh, he said he'd be right back. Oops.
Well, I just have to hear him again. In that case. No, I'm kidding.
Play the tape back.
Play it.
Yeah, I think the gist of it was Mackenzie said that they do have a way to treat. However, if they don't stop using the pesticides, it'll be a moot point. And then I think Mendrock had a suggestion for how to deal with the locusts.
Yeah, I was suggesting alternatives to the pesticide. Wondering if they had tried maybe doing some kind of sound or shielding or something to try to either block or divert them.
Like, as my understanding, it wouldn't be like a prime directive violation if we were just like, well, we can stay here and help if you ask for it, like with the other issues, but obviously we can't make them choose any course of action.
Mm-hmm.
They're a warp capable species, so we can technically help them avert a natural disaster.
So that's what we're facing, right? Like, it's a natural disaster, basically. It's a blight, essentially.
Yeah, as terms for the pesticide, though, that's actually violating the Prime Directive. Helping them with that.
Helping by providing a cure?
Yeah.
How? Because they asked for it.
Well, they asked for it, yes. But helping society escape the negative consequences of its own actions is violating the Prime Directive.
But it's not their actions as much as it was one individual's actions. Like, the elected leader of their government condemned that action. And it's clear that that's not what that society has intended, the route they've intended to take.
Like I said, it would become a. Okay. So if they chose to keep using the pesticide, we would be violating the Prime Directive. If they're choosing not to use the pesticide, then we could continue helping with their society. Otherwise, we would be. It's a violation.
I think you're applying it too broadly, but
Helping society escape the negative consequences of its own actions. That's a broadly statement. It's supposed to be applied broadly.
And that's why you guys get paid the big bucks.
There's no money in the Federation. What are you talking about?
Federation credits then.
Ooh, that's true. Nadon, yeah, that was my thinking too. But I guess if you go and look at the Prime Directive Entry Memory Alpha, I guess there's other situations where a post-warp society, like the Prime Directive would still apply, I think. I thought.
well, we're not, like, like, we can't influence their society or their development.
Well, that's the thing, though. If they're not, if we're giving them, we're we're curing their people, stopping the illness. They're choosing not to stop using the pesticide. We're directly interfering with them. Like, giving them aid is directly interfering. We're actually altering their course. A lot of the stuff like Prime Directive is like they have to become willingly to go. Like, okay, we made a mistake. We're gonna correct. They have to be willing to do that. We can't force them to do that. If they're not willing to change, then we can't help them. You understand? It doesn't matter if you're pre-warp civilization or a advanced civilization using warp drive. It's
So
I follow you.
okay,
So if they don't decide voluntarily to not use the pesticide anymore, then we just should beam up and kill.
exactly.
So, well, in this case, again, I might need some clarification. I kind of jumped in and out there for a bit. During that conversation, chewing the science director out, dismissing him and then him saying that they were able to deal with the situation, would that imply that they're going to cease using the pesticide and they would start looking for other options? Like, would we be able to help them look for those other options in that case? Or could we just...
And so, like, at that point is where you playing Commander DeGrasse would have to sell the captain on that.
Okay.
And that's where the conflict of this part lies. You know, you're down on the ground getting all of the information. And the captain's up on the ship, not privy to what you guys have learned down here to the full extent yet, because you guys haven't given the reports yet. You know, the captain's only working on information you're able to send her. So if you can convince the captain, you know, in good role play, you know, it seems like, you know, Mendrock has a good how. You know, based on your communication with the minister, who knows?
Okay. So, Doctor, you are confident that we would be able to provide a cure to this society that their medical practitioners would understand and could be able to implement?
Yes, Commander. However, if they do not stop using the pesticide, they will continue on the self-destruct course of action, and giving them the cure will not stop the problems that they'll continue to face.
Understood. And Lieutenant Mendrock, you're confident that you, if asked, could provide a solution to the insect infestation that would be safe for this planet's inhabitants?
I should be able to, Commander. I'm sure Lieutenant Nadon can certainly help me with that.
Perfect.
And we do have a whole science team on board as well.
That is convenient. All right, understood. Just give me a moment. GM, is the minister still here?
Yes.
DeGrasse walks up to the minister again. Minister, I spoke with my doctor, and, well, she told me that she would be able to provide a cure and not just treat the sick here, but potentially also help with any other individuals that might fall ill as a result of this. But could I ask, what is your intention moving forward? Are you still going to use this chemical, this pesticide, or will you pursue other options?
Well, this pesticide is directly responsible for causing pain and suffering to our people, to our pod, the use of which cannot continue. It is something that I will have to work with loyal scientists to find a solution to. I just hope it will come in time.
That's prudent. Okay, well, I've asked my medical team to begin treatment of the individuals located at this facility. They'll be implementing the cure, and we'll, of course, keep you up to date on the progress. DeGrasse will step away for a moment and again tap his comm badge. Away team to expedition.
Go ahead, Commander.
Well, Captain, feels like we might have had a similar conversation before on this. I consulted with the medical team down here. They believe that they can implement a cure. And they're confident that they can actually teach the local population how to implement this cure in the future if they were to run into this. They, of course, advise that the species stop using the chemical in question to cut the problem off at its source. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Mendrock believes that he could come up with an alternative solution to the locust infestation down here that would eliminate the problem for this planet. And additionally, the Prime Minister has mentioned that it is their intention to cease using this chemical and pursue other means of controlling the infestation. With that said, I believe it was maybe a month and a half that they believe that they will have before the ecosystem collapses and they won't be able to feed their people. Given the technology I see around here, given the disruption to their science department with the firing of the science director, I'm not confident that they'll be able to arrive at a solution in about a month's time. So we might be looking at a planetary-wide crisis by then. Sir, this is the reason why you're the captain. Your orders?
They have acknowledged that the use of this pesticide is harming, and they will no longer be using it. You do have the minister's assurances on that, correct?
Yes, I would say he was very aggressive in making that point.
Have Mendrock and Nadon work with their science teams, look at the other alternatives that they were looking at, and see if a solution applies to there. Under no circumstances are we allowed to give them advanced technology, which falls under the guidelines of the Prime Directive. While they are warp capable and they've asked for our aid, we cannot give them technology that would prevent this problem.
Understood, Captain. DeGrasse out. And he'll walk over to Lieutenant Mendrock.
Yes, Commander.
Lieutenant, see if you can implement a solution to the locust infestation problem while staying within the bounds of the technology available on this planet. Captain has advised us that we're not able to make use of any of our current technology. We can only meet the current technological level of this society.
Understood, Commander. Do I have the assistance of Lieutenant Lenon and her team?
Of course.
Okay.
Anything you need.
Cool. And I will, I suppose we need to talk to the Prime Minister about their science team. Since, they fought. Did I see? Well, I heard the director getting fired, certainly. So, probably need to find out who they'll work with then. So, I'll see about finding a solution with their technology and or resources on this planet.
All right. So given um given what you guys know about them so far, you guys know that they're spacefaring, they know they have that technology. I think there's some we could probably just jump straight to the scientific method here for the solution to this. And you guys could kind of make educated guesses on what solution they might be able to use. So with that in mind, I think we'll just go into the scientific method. So first thing we need is what department you guys think this is going to be.
Science.
It could be.
It's basically like xenobiology, so at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
So first things first, we gotta figure out what the problem is. So the problem is you're trying to find a way to solve their locus issue. So that's the problem we're trying to solve with the scientific method.
I think Mendrak's idea of the some sort of sound wave emitters or something, like frequency emitters, I think that could be a good idea.
I think Mendrak stepped away for a bit.
Well, I like his idea. Perhaps my suggestion would be to find a way to chemically modify the pesticide as it is to mitigate its current negative impacts. It could be turned into sort of a locust growth regulator, perhaps, where it would just remove the ability of the locusts to reproduce. At least the ones in areas near farms, like where they come in contact with the applied chemical. We need 3, don't we? 3 ideas minimum.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else got anything? Growth regular frequency emitter.
Prax mentions like a natural alternative chemical.
So like certain like smells, like when you plant certain crops, you can use the natural aromas from different crops that would kind of signify the insects or other animals that they don't like it and they won't come near it. It's, safeguarding the one plant. So that's the whole combination farming idea. Sort of to kind of push away insects and other rodents from infesting your farm or garden.
I like that.
Which is just figuring out if there's a plant that the locusts don't like and you plant it within the regular crops.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, if they're post warp at this point, it would stand to reason that they probably can do GMO. So that might be an option as well. I would imagine they might have touched on genetically modified organisms. We would probably have a much more well-rounded understanding of them, and we could apply our advanced knowledge, but still within the bounds of their current technology.
My question is, they knocked us over, right? They kind of swarm and are aggressive. Is it possible that they're dangerous aside from their impact on crops? Based on the information I forget their name gave us. The race.
Oh, maybe. I seem to remember. I think the other people that we were with from that species, they didn't seem to be touched or damaged by that locust swarm.
Right.
So maybe they're resistant to it, possibly.
But yeah, that would be, I guess, something to consider, because in that case, that's where a growth regulator could be effective, because it doesn't kill off populations as much as it prevents them from getting out of hand.
All right, so what are we liking here?
So for scientific method, do we just present our 3 options and you say that one of them works?
Yeah.
Would work, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We could do the whole match with a focus thing, but I like you guys to actually have solutions.
Right. So I guess it's a growth regulator, frequency emitter, and natural chemicals. Those 3.
All right, so the only questions I need, though, is are you guys going engineering or science for this? And then we just need to figure out who is the lead. With these choices, it seems like you guys are going science.
I tend to agree.
Okay. Then, if we are going science, do we want me to lead?
I would vote yes.
You have the highest science, so.
All you.
Oh yeah, so you guys are waiting on me. So one of these will work, but I cannot tell you which one. And then as the lead researcher here, you're going to pick one and you're going to roll dice. And basically, I'll tell you if it works or not. Or I can't tell you or not, but I'll have a number in my head. And if you get that number, many of successes, I'll give you the outcome, basically. If you choose the right one.
Okay. I would suggest we start with the frequency emitters because those are likely to have the lowest impact on the environment.
All right, so Nadan, you'd be the main role, and then anyone that has a science score of at least 2 can assist.
Oof.
Does Casey not have a science score of 2?
Nope.
Okay.
I think it's the slowest score. It's the only scored one.
So at this point, Nadan, you could either keep going on this or try a different one.
I'll keep going for now.
So, working off of scans you took from their ship, you are able to devise a blueprint for a frequency resonator that could be used to potentially repel the locust away from their crop fields. And you hand them the blueprint, wishing them luck on the way as you depart their planet. And as the expedition steams away from their planet, a familiar shaken vibration rocks the ship as you find yourself outside of the subspace bubble and back into normal space.
Helm, laid a course to Starbase 21, or sorry, Starbase 200.
Aye, Captain. Course laid in.
Engage.
And I think with that, we'll call that the end to Pest.